Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of Ranting Racing. I am your host, Jon Phipps, and for the first time in what seems like forever, my esteemed co-host is back. Landon Rock is here, ladies and gentlemen.
We're back, baby.
Yes, he upgraded from coal-fired internet to gas-powered. He's doing real good.
We're getting somewhere.
So we are joined and by the way, that one there has something pretty exciting that he did this weekend, and we will touch on that a little bit later in the show. But right now, let's bring our guests up. Joining us again this week is paint scheme designer extraordinaire, and the reason that Landon was able to do the cool things that he did this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the fold, Jordan Teagues. Hello, sir.
Hello.
He is out. He is out. He is up and at it on this particular.
I just saw the link, so I was like, yes, let's do it.
There you go. So yes, there is Joey Gase's car that Jordan designed, and we will talk about the weekend that, yes, there is Jordan's logo there. So we will touch on that a little bit later in the show. And we also have the pride of Great Bend, Kansas, ladies and gentlemen, Brent Cox is back with us this week.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, it is a rock chalk kind of night.
Yes, and because like I've said, we don't make any. Well, we do this live, but the replay squad, people who watch us in the replay, could see this 2 weeks from now. So on the night that we are taping this particular episode is the night of the national championship game in college basketball, and I have never rooted for the Meteor to strike more in my entire life, because my Blue Devils got knocked out by the Tar Heels, and his Jayhawks, and it's his Jayhawks and the Tar Heels that are fighting it out for the national championship tonight. And I don't want to wish anything bad, but I wish a very pleasant meteor for the Superdome in New Orleans at about 9:30 tonight. So yeah, I'm still just a little bit bitter. Just a little bit bitter. But I'll set that aside. We've got races to talk about. So we had a pair of races this week at Richmond Raceway in Virginia. And we will start with the Xfinity Series event, which that one right there was in person for as a VIP guest of the team that he showed right at the top of the show, courtesy of the man sitting just below him there, these Joey Gase's fellow Iowan, Jordan Teagues. And there you see the VIP pass that Landon had this weekend. So we'll talk about the Xfinity race first, and this is going to be weird, but we're going to start with the finish of this event, because
that's all there was to the event.
Yeah, that's about the truth. That's about the truth. So Ty Gibbs and John Hunter Nemechek, they were teammates in this race. Ty Gibbs is full-time in the Xfinity Series. John Hunter Nemechek is not. He is mostly a truck racer, though he does run in Xfinity a few times a season. So we had those two duking it out for the finish, and continuing with the theme that the Cup race at Circuit of the Americas last weekend had, we had another rough and tumble finish with Gibbs and Nemechek swapping paint and quarter panels and everything else. Ty Gibbs ultimately came out the winner, his third win already in 2022. So, gentlemen, where do y'all stand on that finish that we saw in the Xfinity race on Saturday afternoon?
Lamey.
Yeah, Landon looks like he's got some pretty spicy opinions coming.
I was not a fan of it. I'm very much a fan of, bumping and banging, moving out of the way, short track racing.
Mm.
However, I think it crosses a line when you don't even attempt to make the corner. He drove all the way in there to door slam him all the way up to the wall and then just drive to the bottom. That's a little different than just bumping him from behind. So I thought it was a little bit of a dirty move. But that's just my opinion on it.
Yes, and with that in mind, since you weren't able to join us last week, what was your take, Landon, on the Coda finish? Because we saw something. I don't know if you could classify it as similar to that or not, but we had a similar incident at the finish of the Cup race at Coda. So, what's your 2 cents on that, Chief?
I was a fan of it because AJ moved him first, so he moved him back.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
true.
it was fair.
That's
and
true.
While he did give him a nice little shove into the corner, he didn't dump him. He
And
moved
Yeah.
him, and then
Corner.
AJ got loose and hit Bowman and went around. So I think it's fair. If he had just moved him without AJ moving him first, I think it would be a little different. But I think because AJ moved him first, all is fair.
Brent, Jordan, what do you two have to say about the Xfinity finisher, Richmond?
I'll let the Kansas boy go first.
Yeah, I have a little bit different opinion. So
here we go.
I
Get
am
ready.
a huge short track fan. Love it. I race short tracks myself. I love it. It's something that I'm very passionate about. Now, when you give somebody the inside, you fully expect on the last turn that they're going to move you up the wall, up into the corner.
Mhm.
And I don't think that was anything unexpected. If you see someone, your goal on the lead when you're coming out of turn 2 is knowing that turn 3, if you give them the inside, they're going to move you. Whether they are going to make the turn or not, they're going to use you to make that turn. That's what happens. It's an unwritten rule in racing. It's expected. So what happened there with Ty Gibbs, completely expected. I think that if you're the leader in that situation, you should totally expect it to happen. I wouldn't be upset because I gave him the inside. Simple as that.
Jordan, what say you?
I don't care one bit because my perspective towards that finish was I don't really care for either driver. I expected contact. Did I expect the 54 to drive it into the corner so hard that he himself had to lock up all 4 wheels and track to prevent from crashing himself? No, I didn't expect that. But I mean, I get where Landon's coming from. I get where Brent's coming from. At the end of the day, it's a guy that the thing that I respect from Ty Gibbs in this is that the kid never quit. He never settled like, okay, I've got 2 wins this season already. I don't need to win 3 here. And I'm racing a teammate. He continued to want it. You never don't try to win a race. However, I do tend to look at that finish in the behind the tinted lens of I think that the 54 overdrove the corner intentionally. Whether he meant to hit the 18 or not is another thing. I mean, but how do you not hit him when you drive it in that hard? But at the end of the day, the 54 won, and it's not like the 18 crashed. And that's where a lot of people have problems with what Ross Chastain did to AJ Allmendinger is the 16 crashed. But the reason I'm okay with what the 1 car did is because he just moved the 16. The 16 didn't crash until he made contact with the 48. And that's why I look at Ross's move as eye for an eye. This one, I mean, the 18, the 54, they were rubbing, they were bumping, they were making a little bit of contact, but never once did I see the 18 really move the 54. and then the 54 just annihilated the 18 off into turn 3. So I was like, I'm not a fan of it, but he gave us a last lap pass.
Yeah.
When you're on the final corner, when you're on, it's so weird. I hear myself, but when you're on the final corner and you have someone on the inside, you absolutely need to expect that.
You expect it, 100%.
That's not something that's not going to happen. So
I'll
that's
go as far as saying we're going to see that at least once this coming weekend.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're going to see people get turned
for a win,
hell of a lot.
For a win, at least.
Maybe all 3 races win.
Maybe.
I love that. Just a quick side note here, and then we'll get back on track. I love that Brent is now experiencing what me and seems like everyone else that's hosted shows on this network is going through, where you're talking, but you hear yourself like not even a half a second later.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Dennis Tardon, who is one of the main reasons why all of this happened. We were doing a stream once, and he was talking with I forget who. I don't know if it was Renee or if it was another guest. I don't remember who, but he had that same thing happening. He was hearing himself as he was talking, and he just sounded progressive. It sounded like he was drunk the longer he started talking.
It was weird.
Just, I get that entirely. That's another reason why I don't wear earbuds when I do this, because that happens to me sometimes, and it just makes me all loopy. So we'll turn our focus now to the cup race that transpired on Sunday. What, Jordan?
Rude. Didn't even talk to Blamey about what he got to experience this weekend.
Oh, that's true. That's true, Jordan. This is Jordan's job on this show, to bail me out and remind me of shit. So, yes, Landon got a truly awesome experience in being a VIP on Joey Gase's race team this weekend. And I have to ask straight away, did Joey put you to work as a VIP?
No, only work I did was walking around and talking to people.
Yeah, this motherfucker, I know for a fact he bumped into Jordan Anderson, and he wound up standing in a puddle of his own piss as a result of that. Oh, me. What I was hoping to do was to piece some of Landon's photos that he took together and show it on here, but we'll do that next week. Once he posts the pictures, I'll run through them and save them, put them in a collage of sorts, and we'll show them next week on the show. But yeah, man, talk about what it was like being a VIP. Granted, Joey's team is a smaller team, but still being a VIP on any size race team has to be just an outstanding experience. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was really cool. I had been on the inside of Richmond, but not during a race. So that was cool. You look left and right and be like, oh, there's Anthony Alfredo. Oh, there goes Alex Lebay. You know what I mean? There's people walking around everywhere. It's hilarious. You just see people. And I got to talk to some people like Jordan Anderson, who is a big fan of Boom Boom Boom. I was wearing my Jordan Anderson hat. He said, "Hey, like that hat?" I was like, so that was cool. I got to talk to like Mike Snyder. Obviously I talked to Joey Gase because I was VIPs there with him. Thanked him for that. That was cool. Got to stand on pit road during the ceremonies. So that was sick. I've never done that before. That's a pretty surreal feeling, looking at all the crew members and everything lined up, and then walk back and immediately watch a race happen. So it's cool.
You've probably not seen the replay of the race yet. I want to know, because they show the crews and everything on pit road during the set. I wonder if you made television during the ceremony.
I was watching. He didn't.
Ah.
However,
damn it, Jordan, you had to spoil it.
I don't think I did. I need to go and look, but I don't think I did.
If I would have been able to make it to see my car race in Auto Club, Joey did get a camera on him during the national anthem.
Oh, wow.
So, and when you're out there
That's
on
cool.
the grid during the national anthem, they show it's the whole crew lineup. So, like, I was standing right next to Joey when they did the anthem and everything like that.
Mhm.
So if I'd have been in Auto Club on pit road right there, then I would 100% have been on there with him.
Damn.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time. So, Landon, tell us about, getting to see the behind the scenes stuff, and talk also a little bit about what it was like, getting to watch a smaller team like that go through the paces.
I guess the biggest thing is like, number one, Richmond is a lot smaller than you think it is. Like, it's a short track and everything, but like you look at it from the outside and it looks like this big old stadium. Nah, you put all them haulers in there, it's hard to walk around.
Right.
I about bumped into Truex, Ty Gibbs, Jeff Burton, Brett Moffitt. There, I'd always just like look over my shoulder and be like, "Oh, there goes Ty Gibbs," and just sock him. But but yeah, it was cool seeing all the crew guys get stuff out of the hauler and everything, and like we saw Blaney qualify on pole, and then I was looking up at the thing, saw him qualify pole, went, all right, cool. Walked around like 2 trailers, and then boom, there he was in the garage. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? So
you really say hi to
fist bump. Speaking of, no, I wish. But speaking of Chastain, I got to fist bump him and say, hey, congrats on that win last week. That was cool.
Holy cow. Okay. I know because, okay, how many of us here? Well, I know me and Landon and Jordan. I don't know if Brent has ever met a driver in person. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what we'll do. We'll tell our best driver meeting stories right now. So I reckon I'll tell you the best and the worst. Everyone here probably knows the worst because I think I might have told the story on here one time before. So the best was Bristol 2018. So this was the first time that I had went to a race with our friends Jonathan Thoman and Mike Council and Ryan Sherry, God rest his soul. It was the first time I was going with those boys. And we were at Bristol, 2018 night race. Hotter than hell. It rained on us as soon as we got there. But we got there like super early. I think we got there like an hour and a half, 2 hours early or something like that. So we're just wandering around, and we're there at the merch trailers there at Bristol. And I'm standing in line it wasn't a driver team centric hauler, but it was like an overall thing. They had like Chevy gear in there, and they had like retro stuff and things like that. Retro theme stuff, I should say. So I'm standing there, and I see on the wall on the back part of the hauler, I see a really nice Bubba Wallace 43 hat. That's in like the petty blue and day glow orange. It's a great looking hat. So I see that hat and I buy it, and then I see there's a line like next to me, but I didn't know who was in it, and I just turned my head to the right, and I'm like, oh my God, Bubba Wallace is sitting in the end of this trailer over here. He was signing autographs, and like, yeah, I gave him a hat. We talked a bit. We fist bumped, and all was good. And then Bubba wound up crashing in that humongous wreck it happened when Kyle got turned. So I don't know if that was probably just bad luck on my end. I probably cursed Bubba for the night, if we're being honest. But that was the best. Now, the worst driver experience. Well, it wasn't even a bad one. It was just a case of me being awkward, which is not surprising. So The very next racing trip that I go with Thoman and Council and Cherry and all of them, we go to the Charlotte Roval. Now, I think it was the first day we were there, maybe, or maybe the second. But we're in the Bass Pro Shops there in Concord Mills. And we see a sign that says, Martin Truex Jr. is going to be signing autographs here tomorrow, the next day that there. So we're like, okay, we're going to be at Carowinds that day anyway. So we'll go to Carowinds. If it gets too hot, some of us will split off, go to the Hall of Fame. Then we'll all reconvene at Bass Pros. That's what we did. Me and Council tapped out. We went to the Hall of Fame, which was an awesome experience, by the way. So we all meet Thoman and Sherry and the other Mike on that trip, Mike West. And we're all waiting there. And if you've ever been in the Concord Mills Bass Pro, you know it has the huge floor below, but then you've got a set of steps that leads up to the second tier, and there's like a conference room, but it's hidden. So they had opened that up, and so we're all waiting there. I'd got like a Truex hat or something like that, and so we're just sitting there, tired, wore out, but Truex comes walking behind where we were, but we could see him, and so everyone lets out a huge cheer, and then the autograph signing commences in earnest. It comes up to my turn. I have the hat in my hand. I'm wanting to say to Martin how much I appreciated him and Sherry for what they're doing with ovarian cancer and trying to get rid of it. Because that's something that's that's something that hits close to home with me. I lost my mother to that disease. So I'm trying to tell Martin thank you in person, and then I'm just babbling at this point. A lady comes up, taps me on the shoulder, says, "Hey, fucking get out of the way. We got other people here needing autographs this side." So I turn around. I almost fall on my face doing so. Then she says, "Oh, wait, come back. We need to take your picture with Martin to put on the Bass Pro thing." So my picture of my stupid self is probably still out there on the internet somewhere. Me looking like a dolt and Truex trying everything he can not to laugh his ass off at me. Oh, God. All right, boys, top that story.
I got you.
Oh, tell it, Jordan.
So I really don't have whenever you're meeting with a driver, it's never bad. But
Poggers.
I'll start with the worst one. But
oh god,
it was Las Vegas. So I'm down there on pit road with Joey and his team. The race had just finished, and AJ Allmendinger, who had started from I think the pole that day, or somewhere towards the front of the field, wound up 10th in the race and had to battle back through a lot of stuff. I was walking past him on the way back. I didn't even stop to talk to him. It was just a quote, something in passing. And I was walking back to the tail of the field, back to where the 35 car was sitting on pit road, and Joey was hopping out of it. And I just stopped by AJ, and I was just like, "Hey, good job driving back through the field as much as you were able to in that last stint." Then I just caught him off guard, and so he just looked at me as I'm walking past.
I'd have died right there. I'd have died right then and there.
And then the best ones, I've had a lot of really good conversations with Landon Castle, and it's between Landon Castle and Brennan Poole, both at Las Vegas.
Wow.
Landon just recognized me from across the pit wall, came over and chatted for a little while. But the Brennan Poole one was funny because I'd never met Brennan before. I was sitting there in the garage. I was like, "Hey, Brennan, can I take a picture with you real quick and whatnot?" We just had a little chat. And then as we started to walk our separate ways, I just said to him, "I hate DC Solar." And he laughed. And he laughed and said, "So do I." And then we just went in separate directions. It was great.
And Ross. And Ross.
They're both. And I realized after I left that Ross was the one that got screwed over, not Brendan.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I realized that, and I was like, oh well, it is his sponsor too.
Yeah. Brent, what about you? What's your best or worst driver meeting story?
So I'm gonna put my headphones back a little bit because this voice thing is driving me crazy.
Echo.
So for me,
here's
the best interaction I had is actually with the King Richard Petty. So
wow.
The Kyle Petty charity ride happened to be going through at the time I was living in Hutchinson. It's either my junior or senior year in high school. I don't remember. It was 2014. It could have been my senior year. But so the charity ride comes in and they're having like a big old signing at the hotel that they were stopping at. And so Richard Petty was there. It was the weekend of the Kansas race. So Matt Kenseth was there. Harry Gant was there. Rutledge Wood, which awesome person, by the way. Super cool guy. Rutledge Wood is.
Wow.
At the time, Top Gear was still going on. I was asking him about Top Gear, like what episode's coming. He's like, "Oh, I can't say that," but he said that Adam and Tanner were super jealous that he was getting to do the charity ride. But no, the coolest interaction was actually with Richard Petty. So they're doing the book signing, and my grandfather, who grew up a huge Richard Petty fan, like Richard Petty is his all-time favorite driver. And my grandpa actually passed 2 years ago, but he never got to meet Richard Petty up until that point. And so he actually has a son, which is my uncle, named Richard Lee Tucker, named after Richard Petty. And so it was just so cool to see my grandpa walk up to his idol, his childhood idol growing up, and tell him, "Hey, I have a son named after you." And Richard says, if I had $1 for every person that said they have a son named after me, he said, I'd be able to buy my own team 3 times over. so that was so
great
cool.
line.
I got a picture with Richard Petty, and it was awesome. And the worst interaction, most of the driver ones I've had have been pretty good, or just quick, hey, good luck this weekend, that kind of thing. The worst interaction I had, and it's just kind of awkward, was with Jack Roush.
God. You're not the first one I've heard say that either.
in 2012, I went to my first NASCAR race, and it was the October Kansas race. This is actually the same race where Danica Patrick tried to crash Landon Castle, crash herself, that race. So
Jordan's like, I remember.
Anyone who's ever been to a NASCAR race knows that they have all these booths and sponsors things outside the hauler that you can go and do, and it's always NASCAR sponsors and everything like that. Well, Ford had one, and they had the next gen car because this was 2012, so the next gen car was about to come out, and they had the next gen car Fusion. And they had Jack Roush up for a Q&A, and so Jack, after it, goes signing autographs and just talking to people and everything. And during the Q&A, I asked Jack, I was like, so the rumor's going around right now that Matt Kenseth is going to be leaving the 17 car and going to Joe Gibbs Racing. Can you confirm that? And do you have an opinion on what will happen with the team in the future? Keep in mind, I'm like 14, so no one expects that. And
oh boy.
He kind of looks at me weird and kind of hesitates. And then he answers the question, and he says something along the lines of, "Yeah, he's leaving, and we're excited to have Ricky Stenhouse up in the car and everything, and that kind of thing." Which, by the way, was not announced at the time. It was speculated because it's pretty much the only driver that was coming up that Stenhouse was going to drive the 17 car, but that was not announced. So he basically said that without the announcement officially. So that was pretty funny.
Wow.
But after it ends, he's signing autographs, right? And so it was my birthday weekend, and he's signing autographs and everything like that. I was like, "Hey, Jack, it's my birthday this weekend. You mind taking a picture?" And he just looked at me awkward.
Oh,
he just looks at me like he doesn't understand the question, and it was super awkward. And he just signs the autographs and walks away. I'm like, did I do something wrong? It was the most awkward moment I've ever had at a racetrack.
Here's the hatred for it.
I guess he hated the fact that Matt Kenseth was leaving or something, and I brought it up. I don't know. But
I am cringing on the inside right now.
So that was my worst interaction with anyone that's in like the NASCAR realm. But
Landon, what's yours? What's your best or worst driver interaction? You're muted. We can't.
You're muted.
Hit your thing. Hit your thing. Hit your thing.
Got it.
There you go.
So, got it. I don't have anything super remarkable. The most notable stuff I can recall, though, is when I took a trip to Mooresville. We were in the Casey Kane Racing shop, and I happened to see someone come out of an office, and it was Jason Leffler. And I was like, "Hey, Jason, what's up, man?" And we had like a little 10-minute conversation about dirt racing and all that. That I guess the worst one would be we were at Richmond, and we were around the merch haulers.
If this is AJ Allmendinger again, I'm gonna die.
I was just kind of standing around. No, I turned around and I saw someone running my way, and I was like, "What? Who is this running?" So I tried to like step out of the way, but like when you're walking towards someone and you both step the same way, you just go like that, trying to get out of their way, and it turned out to be Elliott Sadler.
You wound up having a mini showdown with Elliott
Sadler's ankle.
I love that so much. Oh my god. See, this is why you can't write stuff like this. It just, oh my god. By the way, one thing more, and then we'll proceed to the Cup race. One of the most interesting driver interactions I ever had was actually not at the racetrack at all. Because on that same Bristol trip that I met Bubba Wallace, the night before at Huck Finn's and Pigeon Forge, I met Bobby Allison.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really he cool. Was. I so wish I'd have had more time to talk to him, because the stuff that man's gone through in his life to still hold strong in the face of it, I would have loved to have heard. I would have loved to have heard what he had to say about it. So we took a bit of a detour there, but everything is good. So now we'll focus on the Cup race at Richmond Raceway. Obviously, Landon got to watch his favorite driver win the pole. And he also, I was going to say more, but I don't want to piss him off. I don't want to make him leave. So he knows I'm going to say what I was going to say too. So it was pretty, I'd say it's a pretty typical Richmond race. We had a lot of comers and goers, and we had a pretty interesting strategy run pan out here, which you don't see very much anymore because you're always running into a late race caution or something like that. But this time we saw a full, strategy run play out here, and William Byron just about made it work, but Hamlin and Harvick, I think Hamlin over the course of that last run ran Byron down from like 10 seconds back or something like that. Over the course of that last run, he and Harvick caught Byron with, I think, 5 laps to go, maybe 4. 6. Okay.
Yep.
Hamlin gets by Byron and holds off Harvick to score yet another win on his home track of Richmond Raceway. And Joe Gibbs' domination of Richmond is still in, even though everyone that was on the show last week swore it off. Bad move. So, about the Cup race at Richmond, what did y'all think about it?
You covered everything I was going to say. Just a typical Richmond race.
Yeah,
Not bad.
pretty much.
Not amazing. Just another one on the schedule. Another good race.
Yeah.
Good strategy race.
Yes.
I like that.
I think this race at Richmond has been better than the last few. And
it's because it wasn't a blowout. Absolute blowout.
Yeah.
By somebody.
By the way, it is so because every one of us here is in our mid to late 20s. So we can all remember when we were kids, Richmond was the action track, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was the short track that ran like a big track. And it's just been so weird and interesting to see how Richmond's changed in that regard. I mean, now we go to Richmond when we don't have the Gen 7, and it's just lacking in a way. Though this one I will say punched above its weight. This Richmond race did punch above its weight, and it was fairly good overall. We saw the strategy run there at the end, but yeah, it's just so weird to see the 360 that Richmond has pulled in our time of being NASCAR fans.
It's not the only track to do that.
Nope.
I mean,
not.
We've had a few tracks where they've been really, really good back in the day, and they're kind of nowadays, and it's just over time as like package changes and asphalt wear and all those things factor into that. Richmond's one of the ones that's been like that. Atlanta. Texas used to be really good for the trucks. Now it's just bad everywhere.
You know what? I think old Texas with the Gen 7 car would be amazing. Like if they still had the old Texas layout with this Gen 7 car, oh my God. It would be just incredible. So we're staying in the Commonwealth of Virginia this weekend. We're going from Richmond and we're going down the road a ways to Martinsville Speedway this weekend. We have all three of the National Touring Series at Martinsville this weekend. We've got the trucks, we've got Xfinity, and we have the Cup Series as well. So
he'll be back.
Okay. No, I accidentally took Landon off. I thought the person that popped in here was him rejoining, but it wasn't. It's Pirates.
Just in time for pick.
Under the auspices of better late than never, Pirate is here, and Landon.
I'm sorry, I had to do stuff.
That's all right. It's all right. So, what was at 1.3 is now again 5. So. We've got Landon here. Pirate has just joined us. So now we have a full slate of picks. And Landon, if you can, please confirm what I was thinking. Did anybody pick Hamlin last week for Richmond?
I don't know.
No one picked Hamlin last week.
No one picked Hamlin. Wow, that was a whiff.
I know Gibbs
one
right.
I know one of us picked Truex too. One of us picked Truex, I know.
I think that was you.
It was me?
I think so.
No, I thought he picked Harvick.
No, I picked Bowman. Last week.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Yes, so we're going to Martinsville this week. We have all three of the National Touring Series there. And what a great way to start with the picks. So we'll start with the trucks, and we'll start with Landon, and we'll go clockwise around the room. And he's already got that. He's already great. What's he gonna say? Though I will say this: there is a bit of a variable there is a bit of a wild card in the trucks this weekend because the Spire truck is entered, but the driver is to be determined.
I think it's going to be Chase Elliott. From what I've heard.
I've seen that too. I have seen that too. So, Landon, you are up, my friend. Pick away. What'd you say? You kind
Stuart
of broke.
Friesen.
I hate you so goddamn.
I hate you. Come on.
Here we go. Already. Here we go.
I was going to be first. I was going to be first. And then he moved my ass to last.
No, you're not going to be. I'm last. You're next to last. So
it don't matter anymore.
So Landon has Stuart Friesen. Brent Cox, who are you picking for the truck race at Martinsville?
I'm looking at the driver averages right now. The top 3 highest in driver averages for the truck series at Martinsville are actually not in this race. So I'm going to go with the highest average finish that is in this race, and that is Chandler Smith.
Ooh, Chandler, Chandler, who is going to be a daddy come August. He will be he will be having a son come August, and we congratulate Chandler and his wife on that. So, Pirate, what say you for the trucks?
Christian Eckes. I'm gonna go. I know it's in like an off pick, but I think that Eckes is finally starting to come into his own at ThorSport, and I think Martinsville is actually one of his good tracks that he hasn't won yet. So I'm going to go with Eckes.
All Toyota drivers so far. Jordan, are you going to keep
Zane
up
Smith.
the?
He picks Zane Smith.
All right. I didn't have to ask him twice. Zane
Blamey
Smith.
takes my guy. I take his team.
Wait a minute. Landon's a fan of the 38 in the trucks.
In the trucks he likes. Yeah. And he likes Zane.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, that is true. That is true. For me, if I knew for concrete sure that Chase Elliott was going to be in the 7 truck, I would pick him. But since we don't have confirmation on that yet,
that's what
since we don't have confirmation on that yet, I am. I'm going to go a little bit outside the box, though this driver is a short track ace, and he's had some good runs this year. Ty Majeski.
He drives for ThorSport. He's got as good a chance as anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I say, he's a great he cut his eye teeth on short tracks. So
that's like a middle in the road type pick. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
So 4 Toyota drivers and a Ford driver walk into a bar. But no. So we will now turn our attention to Xfinity this week, which I didn't expect would be at Martinsville because I had it in my head that it was just going to be the trucks and Cup. I was thinking all 3 would be there at the fall race, but I forgot that all 3 are there for both Martinsville weekends. So I see Landon is already, again, got that little evil smile on his face. He's rubbing his hands. What are you going to say? I know what you're going to say.
I will be going outside of the box. I am not going for the obvious pick. I'm going for Austin Hill.
Okay, so you did a complete 360 from what I thought. I thought you were going to pick Josh Berry.
That is actually not a bad pick. Picking Austin Hill is not terrible because
he ran really good there in the trucks, and he's running really good this season.
There you go. Even though I was fully expecting Landon to go Josh Berry, but at any rate, Brent Cox, what do you say about Xfinity?
So on driver averages, there's only 3 Xfinity Series races at Martinsville on the list. I was decided between two guys, both of which have won on one of those 3 races, and they happen to be teammates. So I'm going to go with one of those guys, and
All
it
right.
was the one you thought Amy was going to pick. I'm going to Josh Berry.
Josh Berry, not a bad pick at all.
He's a really, really good short track driver. All that experience in the modified series has definitely paid off, and I think he's going to win and punch his way to the playoffs with this race.
Yep. So, Pirate, what say you for Xfinity at Martinsville?
I'm gonna piss a lot of people off.
I know what you're gonna say.
Going with.
You're either pick. Can I guess who you're gonna pick?
Sure, go ahead.
Is it Ty Gibbs or AJ Allmendinger?
AJ wouldn't
actually no. It's actually not Ty Gibbs.
I know who it is.
It's going to be Noah Gragson.
Yeah.
Of course,
that's the other one.
Noah Gragson, I know. But I have to give a shout out. I was gonna jokingly say this, but I obviously Common Sex kicked in. I'm gonna root for Parker Retzlaff. This guy is a big underdog coming into the Xfinity Series, and he passed more people than anyone did the entire Richmond weekend. I'm gonna root for him, but my pick is Noah Gragson.
Yeah, Retzlaff had a really good finish in that 38 car as the team car to Sieg. So, Jordan.
AJ Allmendinger.
You asshole. You stole my pick right out from under me. Though I have the ultimate. Okay.
You have Ty Gibbs. We know you do.
You goddamn right I have Ty Gibbs. When you're hot, you're hot. And I'm sticking with it. Now watch him finish 35th now that I pick him.
Wait. We'll see.
The guy I'm looking for, though, in this race is definitely Dale Jr.
Dale Jr. God damn it. I totally forgot about Dale Jr.
Jr.'s in this race.
So did I.
I completely forgot Dale Jr. Can I switch my pick?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Come on.
I don't think he's going to win.
Dale Jr. is probably going to get at least the top 5.
But he's going to do well.
Top 5.
Oh, I completely forgot Dale Jr.
I love Jr., but I don't think he's going to contend.
Really?
See?
I think he's going to be a top 5, top 10 driver.
I think he'll be fast, but I don't think he'll be in contention for the victory.
He was good.
I mean, we saw him. Yeah, I was going to say,
Martinsville, but it's also
been really good at Martinsville.
He ran an Xfinity race at Martinsville.
That's true. Wait a minute. He ran an Xfinity race there one time before.
At Richmond.
Yeah, but counterpoint. One of the best cars that he ran in Cup that he did really good in Martinsville with was a COT. The closest thing you can get to a COT car nowadays is the Xfinity car.
True.
A lot of those chassis are Xfinity chassis or are COT chassis turned Xfinity cars.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Junior Motorsports ones, obviously. Those are
no.
But the old, if you look at the back marker guys, in fact, the car that you probably had your scheme on, Jordan, was probably a COT car at one point.
It was. I want to know what it was because it was a new car for that weekend, and they got
a new car.
Yeah, they got a new car.
Good deal.
Well,
so
it ran like dog shit, but
it seemed like that getting a new car.
At least it ran,
regardless of how it ran.
And they got a new car, which is always good. I think it was something in the front geometry was off, and they just got to get it fixed.
So we will now pivot our attention to the Cup Series at Martinsville, and a hell of a burp from Brent puts
I gotta start drinking early. I'm gonna be drunk as hell, regardless of how this game ends. If KU wins, I'm getting drunk.
Yeah,
KU loses,
if KU wins, you're gonna die. That's just the deal here. If KU wins, you're dead. So, Cup at Martinsville. So again, we'll start with Landon, and we'll go clockwise.
He's gonna pick Truex.
He's gonna pick Ross.
Finally, time.
Oh,
it is time to pull out the card that I've been saving.
Oh,
we're going for Ryan Blaney.
There it is.
That's a good. Let's go.
In before he leads 250 laps and still doesn't win.
Yeah. Eighth place is looking mighty tantalizing.
Yeah.
Doesn't Ryan Blaney lead the points now?
I don't think
Elliott.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're tied.
Brent, what say you?
So there was a couple drivers I was thinking about. I like to base mine off of driver averages because I think that's the closest you can get to an accurate, of who's good and who's not. That being said, Lamy picked the driver with the highest driver average there. So I'm going to go with the second driver average, which is Martin Truex Jr.
There you go. There you go. So, Pirate, what say you?
Okay. All right. So before Richmond, this guy had been one of the top finishers of the year, and he's won at Martinsville when he was with Stuart Haas. I'm going to go with Kurt Busch.
Ooh, Kurt Busch. Nice outside the box pick there.
I've done my
research. All right, Jordan.
Tyler Reddick.
Oh, Reddick's not a bad pick. Reddick's not a bad pick at all.
He ran really well at the Clash, and it's a similar track.
Yeah, he did. Yep. Okay. My pick is gonna pop his win cherry in 2022. He's won at Martinsville in the past.
Oh,
I hate that.
I hate it. I am okay.
He's picking Chase Elliott.
You guessed it, Chase Elliott.
Let's cut to the point.
And I'm gonna take my brownie points from Thoman as a lump sum. So one thing more. Yes. So one thing more before we leave. And we'll be quick about this because we only have about 8 minutes left before we hit the top of the hour. But NASCAR released the list of nominees for the next class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And how they're going to do it is they have a modern era ballot, they have a pioneer ballot, and then they have a ballot of sorts to win the Landmark Award for outstanding contributions to NASCAR. So we'll pick our four. We'll pick who we want to be in, and then we'll go from there. So I will kick things off in that regard. On the modern era ballot, I believe I will pick Ricky Rudd and Matt Kenseth. For the pioneer ballot, I believe I'll pick Sam Ard. And for the landmark ballot, I believe I will pick Janet Guthrie. Landon, what say you?
I will go ahead and say that the pioneer ballot and landmark ballot are the same. I think Janet Guthrie and Sam Ard are going to get in. From the modern era, I'm going to say Neil Bonnet and Harry Gant.
Yes, I would love to see. I'd love to see Harry Gant get in there. Brent, what say you?
So I'm actually really surprised you guys didn't pick one of these guys that I'm going to pick for the modern era. For the modern era, my first pick I'm going to put is Kirk Shelmerdine. That man won 4 champions as a crew chief with Dale Earnhardt.
That's true.
That is incredible. It's hard as a crew chief to get 1 championship. You saw how long it took Alan Gustafson.
Yep.
He won 4.
Very good.
The second person I'm going to pick is Harry Gant. And the reason why is because his long streak in wins in September, plus winning as the oldest driver, a record still held today, is incredible. So for the pioneer, there's only one obvious pick for me, and that's Sam Ard. The dude killed it in early Xfinity Series.
And he killed it for 15 years when it was the late model Sportsman Series.
The dude was an incredible driver, especially on the short tracks. I think to this day, he has the most wins ever at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Yep.
Which is crazy to me.
Sam Ard
Oh, go ahead.
Sam Ard in the 00 Ham Wagon. Thomas Brothers out of Ashboro.
And my final pick on the landmark ballot is actually going to be Mike Helton.
Ooh, that was my number 2 behind Guthrie.
Mike Helton, being the president of NASCAR as long as he has gone through all the changes of just rolls throughout the times in NASCAR. He had to take control, and he had to make that announcement when Dale Earnhardt died, which is a huge responsibility. Kind of being the man behind the scenes when things are going on in NASCAR. That's all Mike Helton, and it is to this day. To this day, it's still Mike Helton. The dude put so much effort and work into this sport, and I believe that needs to be recognized.
Amen. Pirate, what say you?
For the modern era ballot, I'm going to agree with Brent and say Kirk Shelmerdine because of the 4 championships that he had with Dale and the effort that he had went through for his own team that he was racing for a little bit.
That's true.
And I'm torn who I want for my second one, but I'm going to go, if he is done, I'm going to go with Carl Edwards just because Carl was an icon of the racing. And then for the Pioneer ballot, easy one, Sam Ard.
Yep.
And for the Landmark Award, I think it's going to be a tie between Janet Guthrie and Mike Helton, but because of the fact that when Mike Helton was running NASCAR back then, I'm going to go with Mike Helton, but I love Janet Guthrie to death.
I do too.
Yep.
Yep.
Same here. Jordan, yes. Jordan, what say you?
My picks completely mirror Landon. Bonus points for Janet Guthrie because she was born and raised in my town.
Really?
Yep.
Coralville, Iowa.
Iowa City.
Iowa City. Okay.
We'll take that.
I didn't know she was from Iowa.
I did not.
Interesting.
I might have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's her. Look it up in hometown Iowa City, Iowa.
Wowee. So that concludes this episode of Ranting and Racing. Thank you to everybody who showed up in the comments and to the replay squad. Thank you for watching us, and be sure to stay tuned here on CCTV because at 8 o'clock sharp, we are debuting a brand new show. Jamie Bennett's show belongs to the shadows. So Landon, Brent, Jordan, Pirate, thank you for joining me here, even if a couple of you did get here a little bit late. But as they say, better late than never. So have a great rest of your night, one and all, wherever you might be in this wide world of ours. Take care. Much love. God bless. And all the best to all of you. Take care.
Rock chalk.
Yeah,